Hey guys, welcome to your third lesson on how to play the violin. I've got my violin with me and I hope you've got yours too. If you don't have a violin, even then, this class is for you. And I'll tell you why. Now, we are going to go through three things in this live session. I thought we'll make it more structured because a lot of people are watching the show, a lot of people are asking questions, and a lot of people don't really know what to do because the first lesson was some time back and we are in the third lesson. So, for all of you, if you're new to this channel, also, you'll be able to understand how to play the violin quickly with me. Now, the most important thing I want to do is take a quick 2-minute recap for whoever is new to this lesson, whoever hasn't seen this before. I want to take a quick recap and tell you everything you need to know in about 2 minutes. Okay? First things first, I want you to know that basically I have fretted the violin. That is the same thing you do because without the frets, you don't really know what to do, where to put your fingers, right? That is the most important thing when you're playing the violin. You don't really know where to put your fingers. If you look at a guitar, for example, okay, I have my guitar over here. You have frets, you have strings, and you have frets. Your frets are where you need to put your fingers. But if you have a violin, okay, you will know that you don't really have that luxury. Okay, the fretboard is there, and the fretboard I was reading before before I was doing this channel, before I was doing this video, I was reading just now that the fretboard is like an unknown universe. You don't know what it is over there, what kind of sounds you produce. So for that simple thing, what I've done is I fretted the violin. So this is like a fretted violin. It's very simple. All you need to do is to take post-it notes like these, okay? Rip them off, cut the sticky end, paste the sticky end over here. That's exactly how I did this. Now, second point of recap. First point, fretted violin. Now take your violin if you have one and fret your violin like this. I'm going to pause for 1 second so that you take a screenshot of this. Yeah. So you fret your violin like this, okay? Second thing, number 2, what are the string names? The string names, if you remember from the last time video, is G, D, A, and E. And how do you remember that? You remember that by saying go, dress, and eat. Something our mom always used to tell us. So the first string which is towards you, okay, which is upwards over here, this is G. The second one is D, the third one is A, and the fourth one is E. Now when you're getting your violin, when you're purchasing your violin, make sure that you have someone who knows the violin. It could be me also in the flesh and blood. It could be your violin teacher. It could be someone who knows something about the violin, or it could also be the music store manager. Let them tune the violin for you. Let them tune it because there is always risk of your violin strings breaking. So we don't want that to happen. And when I was a kid, I cried when my strings broke for the first time. That is normal, but ensure that basically you you remember what the strings stand for. G, D, A, and E. Go, dress, and eat. Something your mom always used to tell you in school, even if you were the good boy or the good girl. Now that you know what the strings are called, now that you know that we have fretted our violin, you need to remember what are the first notes on the violin. Basically, we didn't talk about any musical notes. We talked about the first one. The yellow one is where you put your first finger, your index finger. The green particular fret is where you put your second finger, and the red one is where you put your ring finger, your third finger, okay? And that is basically why we have color coded it. So yellow for index finger, green for middle finger, and the red one, the red fret, red code for your ring finger, okay? So 4 strings, okay, 4 strings, and 3 frets is what we have. And so even if you're new to the channel, you don't have to worry about it. This is all you need, okay? Fret your violin, remember the names of the strings, and let's get into the video so we are all on the same page. Now, if you look at the previous video, I taught you how to play your first 2 songs, okay, by saying the same method, okay? Put your first finger, second finger, and basically 0 is when you just simply pluck the string. We talked about how to pluck a string. And we talked also in the last lesson about how to hold a bow, okay? You need to hold it like a pencil. You need to hold it like this. Your hand shouldn't be like this. It should be free, okay? And then you start playing. We learned what a down bow is. We learned what an up bow is, okay? That is all we learned in the past 2 lessons. And if you actually think about it, we are going at a very, very fast pace. And if you've been able to keep up, even if you didn't buy the violin, if you're able to keep up with this, it means to say that you can really actually do wonders with the violin and take it from here. So basically, this is what the instrument is. This is what you need to do to get started. Now, today I want to tell you a very important thing. How do we read music notes? You know, now the most important exercise you need to do is you need to keep your bow. Okay, you need to select which string you want. Do you want the first string, the G string? Do you want D, the second string, or do you want A or E? You need to select, and you need to be able to bow from this part to the tip. So like this. So if you select D, for example, the second string, you need to go flawlessly without touching anything. You need to go like this. From this part, the frog, to the tip of the bow, you go like this. It's not as easy as it looks. Your first sound would be like this. That will be your first sound. But as the days go, as you become better, it becomes clean and smooth. And you know that you need to adjust your pressure. Here you need to put less pressure. Here you need to put some amount of pressure, but not too much. Okay? You get a uniform sound. That's what you need to aim for. And the second thing is, it shouldn't touch any of the strings. So if I'm selecting the top string, it's a very high pitched string, so I'm going to move back. Without touching any of the string, it should go from frog to tip. There was a problem over there. I put a little too much pressure. That's how it should go. It should go like this. The bow shouldn't shake. It shook a little bit. It should be clean sounding, and when you're going to the last one, that is the first string, G, it should be like this. So that's basically how it should sound. No touching the other string, even sound from the tip, from the frog to the tip. This is called a frog, by the way. Okay, this is called a frog. And all this way, from this part to this part, is called a downward bow, down bow. Up bow is like this. Okay, like this. I tried to do it a little fast. I shouldn't have done it. I should have been slow. Clean sound. Okay, don't rush it like how I rushed it. Don't rush it. Take your time. You will touch 100 other strings, but you'll find the most easiest to play is the first string and the last string, because there's no chance of you touching any other thing. Okay. Now today we are going to learn the same strings. No, did you hear? So basically, let me play it again. The first string, G, go dress and eat, G. That's G. The second string, dress, D. That's D. The third string, and eat. So and the fourth string, eat. So go dress and eat, GDAE. Okay, go dress and eat is the one that you will be using for this. But now we are going to learn how does go dress and eat actually look. You see musicians sing sheet music, right? What does it look, and why is it important? Now you'll be like, hey Vishal, you know what, it's not for me. I'm okay with just playing this much. I'm making this sound. This is cool. I was the same way, right? But the only reason why I'm telling you sheet music is very important is because it helps you to learn on your own. Right now, we are trying to learn the violin on our own, and it is very difficult. Very difficult because you need to be able to master the position properly. You need to hold the bow properly. You need to play the strings properly, okay? And what might sound good to you may not actually be correct, precise, accurate, and the violin is all about accuracy. So we are trying to actually do a very difficult thing over here. And the reason why I'm saying musical notes will help you is because you can play songs that you're familiar with. So you know how that song goes. Like for example, you will know how the beginning of Dilbar Dilbar is like this, no? You know how the beginning of Dilbar sounds like, right? So you'll be able to say, okay, this is correct. It is because of that you'll be able to know how it sounds, and you'll be able to produce a sound which is which matches the sound that you have in your mind, or the sound that you hear when you hear music. So try to play the songs that you usually listen to, because that will help you get the right sound on the violin. and it is a difficult thing to learn it on your own, but it is not impossible. Okay, so basically that is what we're going to be doing today. We're going to know how music notes look like, and this is important again because you can play a song that you like and you can get the accuracy right in your mind. Okay, so let's, without further ado, go to the first one. Go dress and eat. What is the first letter? G. So that is the first note, right? So we shall go to the first note, G. That is what G looks like in a musical note. Now you'll be like, hey, how do I know this? Sorry, it's a bit of noise outside. Sorry. Perks of not having a soundproof, not perks, but demerits of not having a soundproof room, that will come soon. But so basically this you see over here on your screen, right? This is how the first string looks, sounds like. So basically this string, this string, okay, this string is what we're talking about over here. That is go dress and eat, G, the first G. This is what it is. Okay, now why is 0 put on top? 0 is put on top because we're not pressing any fingers. No, if it was 1 means you have to put your index finger. If it was 2, you need to put your middle finger on the green part, and if it is 3, you need to put it on the red part. So it's 0 over there, means to say you don't need to put any fingers, it has to be free. But that particular note, look at that and burn it in your mind. You'll be like, Vishal, this is like a new language. It is a new language. There is no meaning for the word like B-A-L-L, ball, right? Is that object, the ball that we used to kick or throw or whatever it is. But the thing is, they don't have any meaning. B-A-L-L doesn't have a meaning, right? Same way, when you look at this, and if it looks like this, this is G. This is the G of this part of the violin, okay? There are many G notes on the violin, higher parts, but this is the lower G. This is the lowest note you can produce on a tuned violin for this particular tuning. You can go even lower, but this is the standard tuning. The standard lowest note in the violin is this G. It looks like this. It's 0 because we don't put any fingers over there, and it sounds like this. This particular part. Okay, that is how the G sounds like. This is what it is. Now you'll be like, okay, so this is musical notes, and we're going to start learning musical notes. So what is that 4 over there? What is that S over there? Everywhere an S comes, you'll be asking. So that S you see over there is called a clef. Okay, if you want, for the sake of jargon, let's say it is called treble clef. Whenever you play a violin piece, right? Violin piece or a flute section, any of the melody section, any melody instrument, right? Even guitar also, but if it is a melody line, it is called, it is usually put in the treble clef. There is one more clef called bass clef. That is basically, we'll cover it in the later videos. I don't want to confuse you now. But whenever you see that S symbol over there, right, this inverted ampersand, it's a violin part. Hold your instrument, get ready to play. It's usually for the melody or the second harmony, whatever it is. Whenever you take a melody instrument, you usually have a treble clef put. This is called treble clef. Now what is 4 and 4 over there? This 4 and 4 is a timing. Okay. Now people who know music, who are seeing this, will be like, man, you shouldn't put this. You don't know music, is what you'll say. And to all of them, my apologies. Because the thing is, and I'll tell you why. Because the thing is that if you say 4 by 4 means it should be 4 beats. Okay. Right now I only put one note, and the dark note, it's dark, right? It's dark means it stands for one beat. If it was hollow, like if there was no filling, if there was no dark filling, it is for 2 counts, right? So basically, this 4 by 4 is in relation to the whole music bar. Okay, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. That is what this 4 stands for. 4 stands for 1, 2, 3, 4. There can be many timings. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So you've seen all the conductors doing all of this wavy motion, right? Basically, they're keeping all the instruments over there in time, right? And if it is 4 by 4, they have many different ways of representing 4 by 4, and 3 by 4, which is basically 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. But 4 by 4 is usually a more gregarious one where you have beats for all the 4 counts. So musicians, I couldn't find any other picture, so I had to take this one. But I wanted to take this so that everybody understands what that 4 4, what 3 4, what is those numbers there, how did numbers suddenly come over there. So this is the instruction which a musician who has written the song or the arranger who has written a particular piece is giving the person, giving the instrumentalist, telling them, hey, listen, you need to play 1 2 3 4, 1 2 3 4. They will also give you the number of beats per minute. Is it 1 2 3 4 or 1 2 3 4, 1 2 3 4? Which one is it? They will give everything. We will cover that a bit later. Don't get confused. So 3 things you need to know from this. This is how G sounds like. Okay, this is how it looks like, the one on the left part of your screen. Why 0? Because no fingers are being put on the fingerboard. Okay, why 4 and 4 are there? That is telling you the count of it. Okay, why is that ampersand big fellow over there? Because that means to say it's a melody line for a violinist. So when you see that, you know it is your part. May not be your part, but they'll usually write violin or guitar or piano, whatever it is. In piano, the right hand gets this particular thing called treble clef. Left hand gets the bass clef, which we'll cover later. But treble clef is your part, so don't forget to play it. And they will mention violin over there. 4 4 is timing. That note over there, you see, that is G. You need to just know that when you see that note, it is G. Okay, period. And why are we talking about G? Because that is the first, most lowest note you can play on the violin. Your first string, okay, that you can play. I'm sorry if this class is going a little too slow. Do you think it's too slow? Do you want me to speed it up? Tell me in the comments. I'm always looking at the comments over there and I'll respond to you. And I'm happy that you guys are enjoying this. I hope you guys are enjoying this. I hope it's meaningful to you. But most importantly, I want to tell you that if you don't have a violin also, keep this in mind. This will help you. Okay. So now we will go on to the next most important thing. Now we played the first string, which is G. What is the second string in the series? Go, dress and eat. So D is the second string, right? So if I take this particular second string over here, okay, and play it, it should be D, right? It should be D. So go, dress and eat. So that D stands for the second string. So this is D. But how does it look like? Can you guess? It looks similar to this, but how does it look like? I'll tell you. Now check your screen. That is D. Now you'll be like, hey man, it looks very similar to the old one. The old one had 2 spokes and had that round thingy. Okay. And this new one just has a round thingy without 2 spokes. So this means D. Okay. I'll tell you one very easy way to, how you can make sense of this language a little bit. So you see, okay, where this note is lying, there are lines, right? There are lines where it is lying, okay? There are 5 lines that usually goes over there. There are 5 lines. Why are these 5 lines over there? This is a reference for us, like a scale. It's like taking a ruler and saying, okay, these are the centimeters kind of thing, okay? It is like that. So basically, the higher the sound goes, no, the higher it goes, okay, the higher this will also go in the succession. So it's starting from bottom. G was bottom, right? So you can imagine if we start going upwards, okay, it will start to ascend, it will go inside the 5 lines over there, and it will start to go above the 5 lines also, just like how G was below the 5 lines. That is how you can make sense of it, but this is D, okay, this is how D looks like. Fine, you're cool with this? So this is how D looks like, this is how D sounds like. Where is D? D is the second string. Why is D the second string? Because remember, go, dress and eat. D comes after G. Okay, so this is how it sounds also. That is D over there. Why 4 again? Timing. Why that S over there? Violin part. Why 0 over there? No fingers are on the fingerboard. And what are those 5 lines over there? That is a reference for musicians. Okay, so this is D. This is how D looks like. Burn it in your memory. This is how D looks like. We'll go to the next string. Next string is what? It is A, right? A is the next string. Why is A the next string? Because go, dress and eat, right? So A and, right? That A stands for the A string, and the A string sounds like this. Is it too loud, the violin? I don't know, but I wanted to show the angle, that's why I came closer. So this particular string, this particular sound is A, and it doesn't look like this, okay? How does it look like? It looks like this. Okay, wait, let me, I think it's gone a little below. Let me raise it a little up. Okay, I can't raise it up too much. Oh yeah, here, it's done, it's done. So basically, this is A. Now you see, we are going higher and higher. What do you mean by higher and higher, Vishal? It is like this. See, remember the first string was G, right? Hear the sound, okay? I'm going to play go, dress, and, not eat. Go, dress, and. The first three strings I'm going to play. Tell me, what do you think it is, okay? I mean, like, what's happening over here? So, let's go. First string, G. I'll play it again. Think of what's happening. Guess something is happening. Something is happening with the sound. Is the sound becoming higher? Is the sound becoming higher? The sound is called pitch. Okay, that is what musicians call pitch. Pitch. The pitch is not right. The pitch is not right. This is what is pitch. Okay, pitch is basically the scale. Okay, there are high pitched instruments. There are low pitched instruments. Low pitch means to say that it is very like, for example, a bass voice. Oh, it's low voice. Okay, that's a low pitch, and is a high pitch, right? I'm sorry, I know my singing sucks. I'm not a good singer at all. I never try to sing at all because of this reason. But basically I want to tell you what is low pitch, what is high pitch. This is low pitch. So low is oh and high is ha ha. Okay, okay. But the thing is that this means to say that it goes from oh to ah. There is a low and high variation, right? That is what is happening here, don't you think? It's going from low to high. So G, D and A are actually, G is low, D is a little higher than G, A will be a little higher than D also. Sorry. Right? See this? G, D, A. So high, the pitch is increasing. It's going higher and higher. That is why the notes also are going higher and higher in the series. Now let's recall, let's have a look at G again. See, G is low. G is low because it's low pitch. Okay. Now see D. D is higher than G. Now see A. A is higher than D. That means to tell, so those 5 lines represent a pitch. It's a reference range for the pitch, right? And let's go to the last letter. So burn this in your mind. This is how A looks like. Okay. Now burn it in your mind. We're going to go to the last one, the last particular thing on top, which is eat, and it's the highest pitched string on the violin. The highest sound on the violin is a different thing, but this is the highest pitched tuned string on the violin. So let's hear how it sounds. How does it sound? It's the last part of go, dress and eat. That is the E string, okay? And how does it look? It looks like this. Okay, this is how it looks like. Can you see that the E is on top? It's higher. Remember where A was? A was lower. A was low. Look at that. It is in between the second and third line. But E is all the way on the top. Okay, it's all the way on the top between the last two lines. That black dot, that is E. Now you'll be asking, what is that? Some different squiggly lines are there with the notes. Basically, all of that tells us how fast to play, how slow to play. Should I play the note for half a count, for 1 count, for 2 counts? Should I play the notes together, okay, faster? That knowledge variations, but this is the fundamentals. If you know what note is present on the particular music note, you know where your fingers must go and what you must play. Okay. Again, why is this important? This is important because if you want to learn Twinkle Twinkle Little Star on the violin, you need to search online for Twinkle Twinkle Little Star sheet music, and you will only see this. You will not see G, D, you won't see anything. You will see only these notes. So you need to make sense of it. This is the only way by which you can learn how to scale up your violin. For the guitar classes, like the guitar classes have happened tomorrow, right? For guitar classes, what happens is I usually say, okay, let's go, let's see the chord diagram, let's see the last class was on the 7 chords, the fastest chords you can learn in under 15 minutes, right? Go check it out. I'll link it over here. The 7 chords that you can learn in under 15 minutes. It's all related chords, so it's easy, right? But basically, that doesn't work in the violin. You can play chords in a violin. Want to hear chords in a violin? Simple G major chord is like this. Sorry. That's G major, okay? And you have variants also. You have many variants. So that's how chords can be played on the violin. Violin is also a chord. It's not just guitar playing chords. Violin also can play chords. Basically, what are chords? A bunch of notes put together. Which comes to the final most important thing. What are notes? What are notes? Some of you may be like, hey, you know what, Vishal, chuck music, chuck violin, I can't play violin, I'll just play, I'll play this itself instead and I'm happy. Every sound you make is a note. Even this, it's a note. Okay, so every single sound, every tapping sound, everything is a pitch, right? And if it's a pitch, it's a note. And you can play that note. I can match that to, I don't know if it tunes properly, but basically you get the idea. Every sound you hear is a note. And every single thing, that is E which is over here, that is also a note. It stands for a sound that you can produce on the highest thing of the string, right? Highest note tuned, highest string tuned on the violin, right? But everything, every sound you produce is a note. You see the difference here? All notes. That is why the different pitches, right? So that is why you have different notes. So the thing is that different notes basically are inherently what makes music, and notes, bunch of notes put together, played together at one instant is chord. Like for example, you have a keyboard, okay? You take 3 fingers, okay? You put it on 3 different notes on the keyboard. You just press 3 different notes on the keyboard, 3 different keys on the keyboard. That's a chord, okay? It's basically more than 2 notes played at the same instant. It gives a different vibe. Like for example, this is a different sound. That's a different sound, okay? So this is a different sound, and this is a different sound. So more notes over there give it a different meaning. Imagine if I play this. So if I play this, okay? It's too high pitch for you, I'll play this. That's different. Now if I put one more note, different sound, right? And now if I put one more note, it's a different sound. So chords are basically notes put together. It sounds like violin can't play chords, you can play chords. It's a little advanced, but the most important thing you should know, and I'm sorry to get backtracked over there, but fundamentally what we are doing, every single thing you see here is a note. And right now we are playing G, D, A, E, go, dress and eat. And these 4 things are nothing but notes, right? These are nothing but notes. So let us go one more time and let us see how these 4 notes that you have learned today, these 4 fundamental basic notes sound like. The best thing is you don't have to put your finger anywhere. These are the notes that you need to play, okay? Tomorrow if you see these notes, boldly play them. Let's go one last time before we wrap up. So here we go. G. Okay? First string. Now that's done. Next note. D. Second string. Now third string. A. Go, dress and eat. The last string is what, guys? eat. That's how a note looks like, and this is what you need to play. So basically, if you play all of them together, not together like a chord, but that's how it sounds. You see the pitch going higher is higher than lower, right? Now what happens if I go the other way around? What is happening over here with the pitch? Reverse I'm doing. This is nothing but the pitch going lower. So pitch was going higher, now the pitch is going lower. So if you read E, A, D, G like that, it will go down. So basically, that's it, lower pitch. So today I think this is all you need to know for now. I don't want to push too much on you. There is no, see the problem is there is nothing like a standard to say, okay, this is what you need to learn in this lesson. There's nothing like that, right? But I think that this is a lot for you to know, because this is the first time you're knowing what a musical note looks like, okay? You've been hearing sounds all your life, okay? But this is how you look at a note and say, okay, this is what it is, right? That is what you need to know. Now to know or to remember how these all look like, please I put up the images over here. You can take screenshots if you want by scrolling back in the video and taking screenshots of G, D, A and E. Or you can also just go to Google Images, Google it out, and also find how G looks like, how D looks like, how A and how E looks like. Okay? Or I will also put my email ID over here. I will put my phone number over here. All you need to do is drop me a mail and say, hey Vishal, can you just send me those pictures? And I'll send you those pictures so that you will also have a good reference. It is difficult to find those images for me. That's why I cropped it and I put it over here. So that's why I'm saying, drop me an email and I always will respond. So that's no problem. One last thing I want to do before I wrap up this session, okay, is I want to take certain questions that have been coming in. I think there were 3 most important questions that have been coming in, that not coming in directly to me, that a lot of people I know have asked me before also. Okay, here's the first question which I've been asked most number of times as a violinist. The first question I've been asked is, hey, listen, I have a child, she or he wants to play the violin. Okay, so what should we do? What is the right age? How should she or he play the violin? What violin to buy? How to buy? Okay, so the first thing I can tell you is, right off the bat, I picked up the violin when I was first 8 years old, and then I stopped, and then I took it when I was 10 years old, then I stopped. I kept stopping and starting haphazardly. But the thing is, you can take the violin even when you're 5 years old, 6 years old, 4 years old also. Some people are playing the violin and all that stuff. But basically, your violin will not look like this. This is a full-size violin. In violin musical terms, you call this a 4x4 sized violin. 4x4 means a full-sized violin. In the market, even today, if you go to any of those second-hand sites, right, or even if you go to a very good music store in India, right, or abroad, 100% you'll get, right, you can also get a half-size violin or a 3/4 violin. 3/4 violin is slightly smaller than this, okay, slightly smaller than this. For kids, no, they can't extend their arms, their arm all the way here. They can't have so much space. They're kids, right? So they'll have a half-size violin or a 3/4 violin. That's how it started. That's how even I got. When I was 8 years old, I got a half-size violin, right? And then when I was 14 years old, when I again started learning music from scratch again, I got a full-size violin. When that violin I didn't take very good care of. So that is basically how you do. So if you're a parent watching this video, or if you have a younger brother, younger sister, or know someone who's a kid who's been like, oh, let me play the violin, right? Go in for a half-size violin or a 3/4 violin. That's what you need to go and ask the music store people. Music store people are very friendly. They're very helpful. So they will help you out. So you don't have to worry. Okay, that's one very good thing I've seen. All the music shops I've gone to, very friendly people. They will definitely help you out and take out the time to do it. They will also take out the time to help you tune your strings. Second question that I keep getting asked, that has also come in. Okay, the second question is, how do you tune your violin? How do you tune your violin? This has come from many people who are scared to tune your violin. So in college also, what used to happen, for people who had recently bought a violin, they used to give me the violin and say, can you just tune it up and give it to me? Few years back, I was scared to tune up the violins, because when I tuned up one violin, first time I tuned up my violin, the E string, right? This is a string in crazy tension, a very thin string. Okay, it snapped. And I was like, oh, oh God. So basically, the thing is, when you don't tune the violin the first time. First time, don't tune the violin. Okay, give the violin to the music store manager, or to your teacher, or to anyone else. You can give it to me now. I'm a trustworthy person. I've tuned a lot of violins. So basically, you can give it to someone who can tune it up for you, because the problem is the strings break, right? Sometimes you just wind it like, like that, and put, it goes. It's not like guitar. Guitar is strong strings, electro something. Forgot. I will look back and tell you. Okay, but then violin is a core wrapped with steel. So nickel core wrapped with a steel thing. Okay, steel coating. Those kind of things snap very quickly, especially the E string. When the coating is like very tiny, it snaps. Okay, it's not able to take the tension which is holding. So you have one tension over here. These are called pegs, guys. Okay, this is called a peg box. This is called pegs. Pegs box are where you can see all the, you need to coil your strings and push them through a peg. Okay, here is the problem. When you tune from here, no, especially the E string and A string also, when you tune a little higher, put out. Okay, so what I'm saying is, it's better to give it to a good person who can tune it first time and learn how to do it. Start practicing to tune these strings and then tune this. How do you tune? You know, GDAE is the name of the strings, right? Download Soundbrenner. It's a very good app. Or also download Tuner Lite, okay, which is there on iOS as well as App Store as well as Play Store, and tune your violin to G, D, A, and E. Okay, so it will help you tune. You can also get electric tuners where you can put it over here and tune your violin. I have an old school way of tuning violin. I mean, ideally, tune by ear is the best. I can tune by ear also, but I think this is not like perfectly in tune, but I can tune by ear also. I use these kind of tuning pipes. They're called tuning pipes. Okay, like, so basically, you'll know it matches. D, E, A. I'm not tuning now. You need to tune with the bow and this in the mouth and tune like that. Okay, but this is one option for tuning also. Okay, old school option of tuning. And also obviously the apps now are there which will give you very accurate tuning. You want to develop your ear, use that tuner thing. Okay, and also try to tune on your own and then check with the app thing. So this is the second question I get asked. People ask me to tune the violins, but what I'm saying is, give it to a good person who knows something about violins, get it tuned, and try to tune the low strings yourself, because the low strings won't snap. The third question I always get asked: if you play the violin, you can play every other instrument. That is not true. Okay, that is not true at all. Learning the guitar also was a new experience for me. Okay, I mean, I had some know-how of, okay, basically when I press a string, it creates a higher pitch sound. That I knew. But the thing is, strumming pattern for a guitar is very different from bowing also. Strumming is kind of hard, because with bowing we are so rigid with our movements, right? Our fingers have to be like that and bow. So with the guitar, it's a little different. It needs to be free. Your wrist needs to be like totally free. And your fingers need to have like very different, you need to like hold chords, especially when you're strumming, right? So it's a different experience. Playing the keyboard is a different thing altogether. So if you know the violin, you don't know any other instrument. But one thing you will know by watching these videos and by playing any musical instrument is, you will understand music. That will help you play another instrument, approach another instrument easier, right? If you are playing one instrument, I highly recommend you take up the violin, because the violin can teach you different things about music. Not saying that other instruments can't teach you that, but it will teach you a different approach to create a different sound, and different ways to make meaningful and beautiful sounds and melodies on such a beautiful yet powerful instrument. Okay, there are a lot of things that we have coming up in the next videos. Again, if you're new to the channel and if you've been till now watching this video, it means a lot to me. It means a lot to people who are like, really starting out the music journey. I wish you guys all the best. If you're considering about buying a violin, please go ahead. If you don't have a violin, don't worry, we'll get you one soon. And also we'll cover some more tips and tricks for the violin for you. in the classes coming up. Don't forget guys, Saturdays 9 p.m. is strictly violin time, okay? Sundays 9 p.m. is guitar time, but Saturdays tune in at 9 p.m. because here is where we are having some really good classes going on, and we're covering so much in such less time. It'll be crazy to know that if you've picked up the violin and you've started really belting out some good stuff, okay, that would mean a lot to you. It would be a very meaningful experience to you, and I hope you can make music you love. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel Vishal Kevin for all my latest music drops, for tutorials like this on the violin, on the guitar, and let's see what comes up next. And also don't forget to hit the bell icon so you know every time I go live. Okay, every time when I'm going to start a class, if you hit the bell icon, you will know, okay, this guy is going to start, lesson number 4 is on. Okay, so click that bell icon right now so you know lesson number 4 when it's going to start. Do that. Okay, and I'll see you guys tomorrow if you're going to stick around for guitar, or next week when you want to learn the violin lesson number 4. Till then, keep practicing, go buy yourself a violin, and see you guys soon. Catch you guys.